Right, everyone, Natori students and people who are watching. Now, I sent out an email to both my newsletter, which is on my website. So if you go to my website, natori.co.uk, and you see the Anthony Cummins, you can click for newsletter. You can get on my newsletter. And I sent it to the Natori students, all of them. And basically, what I did is I put together a Natori quiz just from memory, because I've noticed that a few people are getting a bit down on a bit low on their Natori history. So I'm going to go through the questions now, and I'm going to pause. And what I want you to do is score yourself. So see what you think. So go through the questions, stop the video, write down what you think it is. Then I'll give you the answer. Then what you do at the end is tell me what your score was. And if you cheat, the gods will get you within 7 days. It's the new law. Excuse me, I'm still getting over COVID. Right. Basically, I've got the questions there, so I don't have the answers. So I did it from memory, so I'm going to try and do it from memory again because I've got to test myself as well. So where does the Natori name come from? Number one. Pause. So the Natori name, it's just a simple question. It is a family name. The name means to take a name. And if you want to go a bit deeper than this, it's from the city of Natori, which is north in Japan. And also, if you really go further back, the origin of the word Natori possibly means to master something, to be a name in something. But that goes even back further. And if you really want to be impressive, they may be family related to the Takeda clan. So that's where, you know. Right, question number two. Who was the third Grandmaster of Natori Ryu? It's an easy question, but a bit of who? It's Natori Sanjuro Masazumi. Okay? It's Natori Sanjuro Masazumi. Oh, I didn't give you a pause notice then. Ooh, free one. Natori is called Isui Sensei. So, number three. What does the name Isui Sensei mean? Isui means single drop of water because it's about he studies and studies and studies like a drop of water, breaking away the rock so that you can get to the knowledge below. It's based on old Confucianist stuff, and but that's what Isui means. So Natori Sanjuro Masazumi is called Isui Sensei, and his name is Isui Sensei because, like a drop of water, he gets to the bottom of everything. Number four. Why is Natori Masazumi sometimes called Natori Masatake? Okay, you see this load, so I want to make sure the students understand this. So here comes the answer. In the Shoninki, he's called Natori Masatake. Now, actually, this might mean he was a different person because he's got a different name. It's not Masazumi. But we know full well the dates match, everything matches with the death certificate and all that. But actually, this was a change by Katsuda, who wrote the preface and the forward for the actual Shoninki, and it's because he sort of gives him an honorific kanji to sort of mean Bushi warrior, or, you know, Masa the warrior, Masa the samurai on this path. So he changes his name to Masatake. So this might mean that Isui Sensei never was called Masatake. It's just a single line in the Shoninki which sort of gives him elevation, if you like, because on his death certificate is Masazumi, so not Masatake. So number five, where is Natori Masazumi interred? And that means where's his remains? They're not buried, of course, they were burned, and his remains are at Eunji Temple in Japan. Now this, all Natori students should know this. Okay, in which castle did number six. In which castle did Natori Masatake serve? Now, I've put Masatake in just to see if people fell for it, like, oh, who's Masatake? And not realised the questions before. He served at Wakayama Castle. So, Wakayama Castle. Okay, number seven. Which lord did Natori Masazumi serve? So, I changed the names around then to see if we get. So, which lord did he serve? So, you ready for the answer? It's Tokugawa Yorinobu. Okay, he served Tokugawa Yorinobu as his personal aide, basically. So that's who it should be. Okay, number eight. What is the name of the last Natori Grandmaster for the original lineage? The original lineage which stopped in 1868, around there. So I myself can't remember his first name, but I do remember his family name. It's Yabutani Sensei. So the Grandmaster is called Yabutani Sensei. I don't remember the first name and have to look it up. Of course, I've got all the stuff, but that's my memory level there. Okay, number nine. How many Natori Ryu scrolls do you know do you know? At least 7 have made public. So the question here is a bit of a trick one. And this is number 9. How many Natori Ryu scrolls do you know? This is different to question 20. How many do you know? And to get a point on this one, because I said there are at least 11 made public. So you have to be able to name all 11 off by hand without research. And the reason, at the bottom of the drop, my Natori newsletter, not my Anthony Cummins newsletter, it's got a link to a video that absolutely shows you how to do this. And I say every student, before they train, must go through it. Must go through Rinhyo Toshak. Oh, that's another question. Right, so basically, they must go through all the scrolls. Heika Jodan, Heigu Yoho, Ippe Yoko, Heieki Yoho, Suisen Yoho, Kundo Yoho, Gunbai Yoho, Gunki Yoho, Gunshu Yoho, Gunyaku Yoho, Shoninki. Okay, every student must know those 11 off by heart. So there's a bit of a clue there are 11. How many do you know? Not how many are there. That's question number 20. How many do you know, and how many can you recite from memory? So if you didn't get all 11, which you should do every time you train, which is what I do, I get them out and go through them. Sometimes you get them in the wrong order, I understand, but it doesn't matter. As long as you can say all 11, you get a point. If you can't, you don't get a point, because that's the beginning of every single lesson you're doing Natori Ryu. There you go. So what does the name Shonin... Sorry, number 10. What does the name Shoninki mean if you break down the Japanese characters? So show is correct, true, you know, the proper one. Nin, Shinobi, and Ki account. So the sort of, that's why it's called true path of the ninja. So it's the sort of the truest, the honest, the correct, the proper, you know, there are different translations for the name, but in context it means this is an account of the Shinobi, which is true and proper, which is absolutely honest and correct. And he starts the Shoninki with, there are other schools that pretend to be Shinobi schools, but they're just thieves. We are the proper ones. That's Shoninki. Okay. Number 11. What's the difference between Gunposha and Gunbaisha and Gunsha? So here's the answer. The answer is Gunposha is your top tactician. Gunbaisha is the esoteric tactician. He does all the different ceremonies, head removing ceremonies, positions of deities. He's the person who runs the esoteric side. And then Gunsha means military person, military warrior. So Gunposha, the top, Gunbaisha below him, Gunsha, all there. It's a triangle of people, okay? Number 12. What 3 concepts does the Gunposha have to master? So not just know, but master. But for this, you just have to know them. So this is number 12. Here comes the answer. And it is Goji, Nanake, Shido no Ho. Okay? Goji, the 5 constant factors. Nanake, the 7 plans or the 7 considerations it's normally translated as. And Shido, that is the 4 ways. No Ho. This is straight away in Book of Samurai, almost at the beginning in the Gunposha section, and they're the things you should know. So the 4 ways of hard, rigid, flexible, and strong, and then the 5 constant factors, the way, heaven, earth, command, and then, oh, come on, rules and laws. Yep, okay. So those are, oh, sorry, my computer's gone. So those are what you should know. That's just knowing them, not mastering them. That's mastering the art of war, basically. You have to master Sun Tzu's art of war and the 4 Chinese ways, and then you can consider yourself a Gunposha. Gunposha. So, number 13. What is the clan crest which this Natori line uses? I say this Natori line because it's a little bit of a trip up here. The original Natori line, not our school, not Masazumi's, the ones before him, used the Takeda diamond, okay? But Isui Sensei created his own branch. Now, there's a reason Japanese people used to do this, because it means you're the head of the branch. Everyone is below you. If you're part of another branch, they can execute you at will. That's just Japanese law. So you separate yourself and create a new branch, but then you don't get the support of that family. So it's a bit of a playoff between the two. So he took on the Hidari Mitsudome. The Hidari Mitsudome. 3 sort of teardrop shapes. Hidari Mitsudome. But there is, if you want a bit of extra information on this, there is actually a problem with that, because in different parts of Japan at different times, the Hidari Mitsudomi and the Migi side one, the right side one, are reversed. So it might be that that is reversed, but it's the same one just in reverse. But we're not quite sure because it's not recorded. There is no picture of it. Not at the moment. There's possibilities of finding one, but in different places, samurai have got different crests, even though the name is the same because they're reversed. So that's just a problem with medieval non-standardization. Okay. What are the 9 words of power for Kuji? The reason I say this is because in every Natori lesson, you should be starting with reading the scrolls and then Rin, Hyo, To, Sha, Kai, Jin, Retsu, Zai, Zen, Aon. Yeah, if you don't start with those, you're not doing your training properly. So if you didn't get all 11 scrolls in question 9, you're not training correctly. So there is the words of power. Number 15, in Shinobi no Jutsu, in Natori Ryu Shinobi no Jutsu, what do the shinobi wear on their feet for stealth? Now, this is in book 2 in Heigu Yoho, and it says they have silent sandals for creeping in, which are made from hair. Probably human hair, possibly animal hair, but it's not. I've had people say they use fur. No, it's, you know, you bind and make waraji, yeah, or waranji correctly, and then you get the straw sandals and put them on. Natori Ryu students would go and pay for probably commoners' girls' hair long and weave it of that and put them in. And it's also in one of the unpublished scrolls, but I threw this one in because everybody likes a bit of ninja stuff, and it's not in the Shoninki, so it means you have to dig somewhere else, and it's one of the cool things I always remember. So that's number 15. Number 16. How do Natori warriors deal with an expert martial artist? Multiple answers. Here they are. So first of all, there's kill squads. 3-man teams, yeah, or 5-man teams. He's hard. Let's go get him. Done. Yep. There's also sukedachi, assistant. If you can have your assistant go around, or even your light bearer distract from them, and you can go in. The other one is just shoot them. That was one of my favourite teachings in Natori. If you have an expert martial artist, get a gun, shoot him, end of story. Very Indiana Jones. And the other one was, don't fight them with their preferred weapon. If they come out with a spear and you know they're good at spear, get a bow. If they're good at a sword, get a spear. Go that one distance beyond them so that you are in command of the situation. Okay? 17. What are the 8 subjects for a proper martial artist to follow? This is Natori Ryu Isui Sensei's instructions. Now this I struggled with from memory. So here we go. And I've organised it in a different way so that I can remember it. Now, you start as closest to you. Yep. I can do hand-to-hand combat. From there, I can use a sword. Yep. From there, I can use a spear. From there, I can use a bow. From there, I can use a gun. These things I have to do from horseback. When I'm on horseback, often I will have to cross rivers and deal with water. Yep. And then from that, I will have to learn military tactics. The 8 ways. Okay. Yawarate, which is hand-to-hand combat. Kenjutsu, Sojutsu, Yumi, Teppo, horse, Uma, Suisen, water things, and then Gunjutsu. Okay, so Natori students should follow those 8 things. And I did it from memory, but it took me about 10 minutes to work them out. I was like, And I did write them down, and I wrote gun, meaning Gunjutsu, but then thought I meant Gun Teppo. So I didn't. I was like, where am I missing one? I'm missing one. So I did it all from memory, guys. So hopefully you can too. Right, number 18. What do the words Jodai, Yuhitsu, and Hatabugyo mean? So you come across these words all the time in my downloads, in Natori Ryu stuff, in the hub. I always mention these names in any emails. So Jodai means castle steward. Okay, Jodai. He is the man at the castle. A Jo is a castle. Yuhitsu means secretary. So Jodai. Oh yeah, so Yuhitsu means secretary, and Hatabugyo means flag commander. Okay, the person who makes sure the flags are in order, because that's how you see on a battlefield through flags. Number 19 is connected to this. Why do I pick these 3 specific words in question 18? Because Andrew Thoburn is the Jodai, Jay Kane is the Yuhitsu, and Nick Meyer is the Hatabugyo. So you see those people all the time chatting. They've got it on their t-shirts. They've got it on the back. People say, Jodai, you hit it. And they get them. That's their jobs. So they are jobs in Natori Ryu. So you come across those words all the time. So if you don't know what they are, that is a problem. And number 20. Now this is how many manuals are there in Natori Ryu? So I put this one in as a trick question. Because A, it goes against number 9. How many Natori scroll titles do you know? How many do you know? Not do you know of, how many do you know? Heika Jodan. Heigu Yoho. Ipe Yoko. Yeah, keep going. So number 20 is how many original manuals are there in Natori Ryu? The answer is we don't know, but over 20. Possibly over 25. So I'll have accepted anything there that is unknown because we haven't collected them all, or over 20, because I've said this multiple times there. We could name them between 25 and 30 depending on, for example, there's one manual that I've got a record of. We only have it, it's called and we have that manual, but what there is there's a reference to another manual that sounds almost the same, but the kanji is different and there's one syllable. So is it like the same manual with a different name, or is it a different manual? We just can't find. I can't find the other manual, but I've got the first one. And then there's other ones that we know are very possible, like Tanki Yoho. So the point of this is, if you've been following what I've been saying, is we don't know, but there's over 20. We've got most of them, and we're missing a handful. That would have got you. So don't know got you your point with a bit of a sort of extra knowledge of that. Okay, so as I say, I created that because I want to be same as you guys. I've got to be able to know these things. So I know I made the quiz, so it's stuff I know. I'm just thinking, what do I know? So it doesn't necessarily mean you know that, but it's all things that should be well understood by Natori students. It's like the things we do all the time. So, you know, that with the exception of the Shinobi sandals, I thought I'd throw them because everybody loves a bit of Shinobi. So out of the 200 people I probably sent this to, or 3 or 4, well, I sent it to more than that because I've got my subscriber list, but I've Natori people, it's over 250 just in Natori. So, but not everybody reads that. It's students have come and gone. So we only have a few people answered, and I think it's because people were not brave enough to just say, actually, I don't know. So these people, 10 points to them, not 10 extra points, but that's how I say, for actually just putting it out there. So scores are, I can't say his name because it's a secret, but student number 40 at 15 out of 20. And I think Michael Strauss, the German, he also got roughly the same, but Michael, he didn't send me the number. He sort of sent Nick, the Hatabugyo, what he did. So it's around the same one. So I'm not going to score him. I want him to score him. So J. Kane comes in next with 13. Then we hit John, who's about midway. Then Adam Quattlebum below him. Dylan Freeman below him. And Nick Meyer below him, but not far below him. And that's the order of, like, that's the one at the top down to the bottom. Now, it doesn't mean they know the least. It just means that they were the ones brave enough to say. But what it is clearly shown, is that Natori, we have lots of people doing these really good things like star moving, tracking stars, tracking the sun, moving across the ground, swordsmanship. They're doing all sorts of different stuff. But people are missing them fundamental points. And 2 Germans won. Come on, guys. England v Germany, you know, the war and football, and they won. Not the war and football, we won them, but in Natori Ryu questions. So in this importance of the world, we won World War II. They won, we won the football in 66, but they won the Natori quiz. So they're winning at the minute because my Natori quiz is far more important than those things. So there you go, guys. Pass this video around to anyone you know who's taken the quiz, or if you want to take the quiz. Sorry, I wasn't quite clear about giving you, this is the answer time, but I've got to try and keep the thingy down. But hopefully you tried to pause at the right time, or just tell me what you thought if you knew them. Put your scores down below if you did pause, and if you just kept a check to make sure you didn't let me do the answer, or tell me whether you knew or didn't know them. And of course, they'll be posted around the hub. And Nick Meyer, the Hatabugyo, will keep me informed of all, like, the types of things you're saying and whether you got them right and wrong. And now readjust your scores, everyone. And those people who weren't brave enough, are you going to put your scores forward now after you know the answers? Cheating, I think. Right, guys, see you later.